Good morning, everyone. This is John with Overlander Off the Shelf. Hope everyone had a happy and safe 4th of July. We did a little celebrating here. We could watch the fireworks from our front porch. We're a pretty patriotic family, and we celebrate patriotism. I know it's kind of on the wane in our country right now, but we still celebrate, and we hope everyone is doing the same. So anyway, this week we're going to get back after the F450 Super Duty build. We're going to try to get the bed off, get it finished welding, painting, and go from there. Looks like our quality control supervisor is laying down on the job, but even though he's not working, we're going to give you a little tour of the front yard and show you what we're doing and talk about what we're going to do. This is our raised bed. Tomatoes are doing pretty good. Everything's working pretty well this year. So anyway, this is a kind of a overview of our front yard, and my wife is real good about putting out the patriotic theme, and we, like I said earlier, we believe in that. Here's our other half of our raised bed. I've pulled several of our onions. We're going to tie them up and let them dry and use them the rest of the year. And the potato patch is growing perfectly. Okay, we've got the Kubota L48 fired off. This is my go-to piece of equipment almost every day because I have a set of forks for the front. I have the bucket for the front, and it is a great piece of equipment. And we use it almost every day. It takes the load off my back and makes it able to hold things safely while you're cutting. And you use these forks. These are the fork extensions. I'm going to take those off. But I use these forks to lift things and hold them while I'm working, and lift heavy things and bring them in the shop. We're going to take the fork extensions off right now, though. We're just going to slide out from under. They just slip on. I built these out of some 3-inch angle iron, and we will put them back on when we lift the bed off of the F450. But there's the F450 with the bed on it out there, and we're going to get after that today. Today we're going to be working on getting the bumper ready to put on it. And this is the old bumper off of the box truck that I cut off and try to leave it as clean as possible. So we're going to use a lot of it on the new bumper build. But right now we need to get on the Kubota and lift this up and take it in the shop. And we will get after some cutting and some cleanup and some fabrication. So anyway, right now let's get on the Kubota and lift this up and take it in the shop. That way we'll be in the shade also. It's going to be pretty warm here in the high desert today, maybe 90 degrees. And it's a lot nicer working in the shop in the shade. I have an outrigger. That might be a future project. It leaks off on me a little bit. It's packing ram. The ram needs packing, and we will do that maybe in a future video. I've done several of these. This tractor's done real well, but I've done a couple of them over the years. I've had this tractor for 20 years now, and it's got almost 5,000 hours. Probably going to be a little bit hard to hear, but we're going to back out of these forks and pick up the bumper and take it in the shop. Okay, we're back. We have the L48 pulled in the shop with the forks on it, and we have this old bumper, and we're going to recycle it, and we're going to cut everything off of it we can, cut it into pieces and reuse them as much as possible. It already has a 2-inch receiver on it. It already has safety chain D-rings, so we're going to reuse as much of that as possible. but there's a lot of cutting to do on it. I've already started to clean up with the wire wheel. There's the wire wheel right there. And I've got some of it cleaned up and some of it blown off with compressed air. But we're going to try to save as much of this as possible. And it's a nice piece of 4-inch square tubing that we're going to use. Let me get this rolled over. So there's the what's going to be looking out the back, and I've got to cut this weld here off of it, a couple of welds, some welds across the top and on each side. So we need to clean this up, and I've got the piece of 3/16 plate that we're going to put on the back with probably some 2x4 rectangle tubing for to back it up on the brace and brace it to the frame of the bed and the frame of the truck. So anyway, right now, let's get started, and we will see what we can accomplish. Okay, first things first, folks, we're going to use the cutting torch today quite a bit, so we're going to make sure the tip is clean, and it makes the airflow a lot better and makes you be able to make a cleaner cut. So that's the first thing we're going to do is clean the tips. This is the oxygen blowhole in the middle. We use a larger tip cleaner for that. Run it in and out, make sure it's clean all the way, and then we blow it out. And then okay, that's got all the tips clean, and we're ready to start cutting. Okay, gloves and safety glasses, dark safety glasses for cutting. Got our striker here, we're just going to hang it on the side of our belt so it'll be convenient. Got my highly starched welding shirt here so sparks will slide off of it, hopefully. Let it warm up just a second where everything works better. Now we're going to start adding oxygen to it. Push the blow handle until the feather just goes away in the middle. So now we're ready to start cutting. We're going to try to cut away from the 4-inch square tubing, and we can clean it up with a torch with a grinder later. Need a little bit more fire. You've got to heat it up till it starts melting, and then you can blow it away with the oxygen blow handle. This thing has several little small welds across it, so we'll get all those done. You can kind of watch it as you go and make sure you're not getting into the metal that you want to save. So we'll grind it and clean it up later. What I'm doing there, I'm just kind of some old paint and stuff. I'm just kind of heating it up and blowing it away with the oxygen handle. I know this looks like a lot of trouble, folks, but this 4-inch square tubing is pretty expensive, and all the fabricating of the hitch and all that stuff's already done, so I can reuse it again. So it'll take me a few minutes to cut it off and just clean it up and grind it and get it ready to put back on, and we can paint and cover everything later on. Right now I need to raise the forks up on the tractor. You can do a lot better cutting and welding if it's up so you don't have to bend over all the time. So let me roll this over and cut these welds loose on the other side, and we'll see how we're doing. I think that's most of the major welds cut loose. I'm gonna get a 3-pound hammer and work on it, and let's see what everything looks like. Let's put a face shield on just so if something happens to fly off of this. We're gonna do a little more cutting and make these into smaller pieces. There we go. There's one piece loose. Looks like we missed one little weld. Let me get that real quick, and I think we've got our piece that we want. Yep, one about 3/4 inch long. So anyway, we're going to stop now and get everything off here and haul off the scrap iron with the Kubota and go from there. Okay, we've got the scrap iron hauled away, and believe me, we're not going to throw it away. There's always a little piece probably can use on there for some of this project. And we never throw away scrap iron unless it's a little bitty piece, and sometimes we'll go to the recycler. So anyway, there we are. We're going to start cleaning up the 4-inch square tubing and get it ready for the new bumper build. Okay, we're going to do a little cleanup. It's a lot easier to roll the welding table around, roll the welder around without all this dirt and slag in the floor. So we just try to keep things as clean as possible after we do a job before we start another job. So let me get all this stuff swept up in a pile, and we will get back to the cleanup on the 4-inch square tubing. I'm pretty good at running a broom. Okay, we got all that stuff up in a pile, and we will leave it there because we're going to make more of a mess, and we'll do a final cleanup after we clean up the 4-inch square tubing. Okay, we've got the 4-inch square tubing ready here. Let me get some gloves and a shield and a wire wheel, which I think I left it hanging on my Kubota. And we will clean this up. But first, we're going to do some grinding on it. Let me get my grinder plugged in, and we will go from there. I have extension cords hung up almost everywhere around the shop, make it a lot more convenient because I buy them at our local swap meet, and that's the best place to buy them. Extension cords, you go to the box store or the big box hardware store, they're really expensive. So I watch out, pick them up for $2 to $10 at the local swap meet. Okay, folks, the 4-inch square tubing is all cleaned up. We'll probably still do some wire wheel buffing on it before we paint it, but all the old welds are cleaned up. And when we welded it back onto the 3/16 square tubing, 3/16 sheet metal for the rear bumper, we would weld it back in the same spot. So if there's any pits made while cutting, they will be filled in with the new weld. So anyway, this is a piece that we can recycle that probably saved $100 or maybe $150 by doing this. It took me about an hour. So anyway, it's well worth recycling some of this stuff, and I do it a lot. But anyway, folks, this is John with Overlander Off the Shelf. Hope you got some information on this, and we will continue this bumper build on the next video. We'll get the F450 in here and in the shade backed in, and we'll get a bumper roughed in and welded up, and then we're going to pull the bed off and finish the welding on the front and get it ready to paint. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this, and please give me some new subscribers, some thumbs up, some comments, and it would be greatly appreciated. And thank you very much. This is John with Overlander Off the Shelf.